Oh, dude, you shot him in the dick.
Huh?
That's not cool, Butters. You don't shoot a guy in the dick.
There you go, fans. You just got doubled up on that son of a gun right there. The don't shoot anybody in the dick info. You can only get that here. You know that, Grun?
I didn't know that. You don't get that here?
You can only get that here. No one else is putting that on their podcast. I think it's more of a like they don't want their podcast to be this raunchy, this
I don't know, man. I've heard of a lot of podcasts that are way raunchier than ours.
Very true. Very
There
true.
are.
There are.
I don't even know if we're in the top 50% of that raunchiness.
No.
Like sometimes it goes there, but like it's a clean like 15% of the time.
Yeah.
Very true. Very true. I love it. All right, fans. So you see it. You see what we're doing here. It is your Raw preview review crew, the Bearded Trio, the Bearded Brigade, whatever you want to call us. We're here every Monday at 7 p.m. right before Raw, getting ready to get you informed and get you ready for Raw because, well, that's what we do. We enjoy it. We love it. And guys, how's it been? How's your week been? I know last week we did a special edition in which we watched 1 hour of Raw live with the fans. So how have you guys been since then?
I've been good. Pretty good. Handling dinosaurs and Jurassic World Evolution 2.
Oh,
Nice.
Okay, good. I'm glad you went further with that because if you didn't tell me you were just handling dinosaurs, I was going to be like, oh, okay, so good.
No.
I thought we were going into that raunchy spot again. Double entendre.
You gotta love it. You gotta love it.
Yeah, I thought I tried playing that game at one point on the PlayStation. I realized like I need a PC for that game.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It is not a good user interface for PlayStation. I got it for free on there, both Evolution 2 and Evolution. I think I got it from PlayStation Plus. And I went to play it and it's just like, oh, dog, like I know I would love this game, but it's going to infuriate me using a controller to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot easier on mouse and keyboard. They really should have, but they just want to sell copies. They don't care if it doesn't make sense on a console.
Well, if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense in this capitalistic society that we live in.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth?
I guess I'll share news. Actually, Josh, I don't think you were in the chat for this.
Oh.
I got engaged this weekend.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations to you and Annie. I assume Annie is the one you got engaged to.
Nah, I swerved.
That being true wrestling.
It was a heel turn.
Performed a real life heel turn. That's amazing. That's awesome, man. I'm so happy for you too. Question.
Cool.
Did you prepare a whole proposal, or was it just one of those things you just felt the time was right?
Okay, both kind of.
Ooh.
In essence. I got the ring 2.5 months ago at this point, maybe slightly less. And I'm like, okay, whenever I feel like the time is right. So originally I was thinking, like I'll do it at Electric Forest when I was there with her and we were both working the show. I'm like, that'll be cool. And then I realized two things. One, Annie is not the public proposal person. She's just not who she is. She likes doing the public stuff with like, wrestling, announcing, comment. She loves all of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then she wants to leave the work where the work is.
Understandable.
Okay.
She's much more of a person she's an extroverted introvert in the fact that she loves communicating with people, but then likes to just go, all right, everyone else can. I just want to be with the circle of people that I want to be with. So doing it in front of a bunch of people, bad idea.
Yeah.
Second, the other problem, transportation.
Oh.
We pack a lot of stuff for Electric Forest. There was a higher chance that my ADHD ass lost a ring.
Oh, man.
And I was not going to go through that struggle. There was I would have been looking for it. I would have been like, shit, where'd it go? And there was also a higher chance of her finding it. And then just going, hey, what's this? And I go, shit. There goes that. So I went into I went into 4th of July weekend. Originally, we were supposed to go into the Upper Peninsula to visit
Okay.
my parents. But like 2 days prior, because my father's diagnosed with cancer, as I've spoken about and all that. As we were about to go up, Annie was feeling sick and I was still overcoming kidney stones.
Mm.
And we're like, you know what? We can't be around Dad while we're sick. And that sucks. We wanted to be up there, but we're going to go up north anyway. They have a property in Farwell. They won't be there. We'll use that as a getaway. So it was just us in the end, which was actually the first weekend we've ever done together alone.
Wow.
Yeah, in 2 years. We're always so busy. There's no time.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Understandable. You guys
Or,
are a very busy couple.
We are. But like when we go on vacation, we'd be visiting my parents in Florida. We'd have days together where we're alone. But overall, the vacation, we weren't alone. This was the first time we've had like the alone vacation for 5 days, which was really nice.
Wow.
So day after 4th of July, I was sitting there and I was thinking about it. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to do it today. Fuck it. Like, it was just like, I don't want to leave this trip without being engaged because I don't want to keep waiting for a moment that's never it's never going to be the thing that you want it. Like, it's never going to be this dream in your head. Like, it's never, you could come up with a cute thing to go into it, which I did. I'll share that in a second. But, but like, I started to realize that I'm like, okay, I just got to pick a moment. Just find a moment or just craft a moment. Fuck it. You're good at this.
Yeah.
So throughout the days, we were still overcoming sickness. I was having back pains, thinking I might have another goddamn kidney stone.
Oh.
So it's like, oh, God damn it. I got to the Saturday and I'm like, okay, everything seems to be clear. We're about to go into town. And I just my parents have a front deck that overlooks a lake. And it's kind of a beautiful view. It's one of her favorite spots, actually. She shared that with me a while ago and then reminded me after the proposal, which I forgot because that's who I am. I go out onto the deck and I'm like, hey, before we leave, it's really like the sun's really hitting off the water and it looks really nice. So I just called her out on the deck. She immediately knew something was up. She's like, Kevin doesn't talk like that. What the fuck is going on? This isn't this isn't the man.
I know
what is happening. I called her out there. I said some things of like, hey, this is a nice moment. Then I looked at her and I said, can I give you one more moment? And then I got down on one knee and proposed to her. And then she cried for a clean, I gotta say, like 3 minutes. Just emotionally happy after saying yes. And that's how it happened.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So happy for you guys. So happy. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I couldn't be happier for two more well-deserving people. You guys are a fun couple to be around. You guys are definitely very conscious of everybody else around you. And the fact that you guys took that moment and you say you forgot, but I think deep down that
there was a
Kalloway
subconscious memory.
Exactly.
Where, like ADHD archives memories. It doesn't forget it.
I love it. I love it. And it just works out so perfect for you guys. I mean, congratulations, man. That's awesome. That is so awesome. Mm-hmm. Grun, that's how you get married.
Yep.
That's what you're supposed to do, Grun. Now you got to find yourself a filly and just get out there and start doing some proposing.
I thought a Philly was when you put a cheesesteak inside of another cheesesteak.
It could be, but that is how you locate the girls in Philly.
I think
double cheesesteak.
There you go, Grun. Get yourself a double cheesesteak and you'll get them all.
I think you can get shot in Philly for that.
I am pretty sure. I think that might be that might be in law. I think the police should shoot you on sight.
Do not violate the cheesesteak like that.
If they don't shoot you, you could have love. So, I mean, it's a 50-50 gamble there, Grunt. All right, guys. So we are excited for the brand new news from our own baby boy, Kevin Kalloway and Annie O'Neill. Congratulations to you guys again. But, we're here for Raw. We're here for some Monday Night Raw. Guys, so last week we did our our hour-long live watch with our fans. It was fun. We definitely got lost in the Sheamus match. I think that really did the number, though. It was a great match. It did what it needed to do. So where I want to go with this, we'll start out with my subject so we can get deeper into your guys' subject.
Mhm.
My subject is going off of the very last match, the main event. And it's going to focus around the tag team of Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. I don't know if I've ever seen a more well-formed tag team out of necessity than these two. They have it down. The way Bronson allowed himself to be kind of beaten up by Penta and Sammy so he could have some type of comeback. It allowed Sammy to have that hero moment that Sammy's all about.
Sammy
And
is
it
the
allowed
best hero moment in the game. I don't think there's a
exactly.
better one.
There's not. And it also allowed those moments in the match for what Penta does the best. The crowd reactions, the pausing, the stepping, doing his little dance and getting the crowd involved. So my question to you guys, are Bronson and Braun one of the top tags teams on Raw today?
Grun, I'll have you start.
Man, you know what? Technically they're not a tag team, but at the same time, it's like they just showcase these two guys. It's another case of it is completely possible to put two people that have nothing nothing or very little in common, put them together and make them a great tag team. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed showcase they are two of the best workers in WWE right now. And I think you could easily eventually make them in running for the Raw tag team titles against or the World tag team titles against Finn Balor and JD McDonough, and I think that'd be a perfect mix.
You're speaking my language, man. I want to see that match. Kevin, our
Old Braun
professor
Braun.
now.
Old Braun Braun.
Old Braun.
Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Braun Braun. I forget who referred to him as that. I think it was CM Punk. Braun Braun.
Yeah, I think
And it
so.
stuck into my head, and I thought it was hilarious. They are what the authors of Pain should have been.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
They are a powerhouse tag team who knows how to work together, but knows how to sell for smaller guys. They're not bumping around all over the place. They're taking offense, but they're not falling. They're crumbling. They're doing whatever they need to do for that so that they can protect their size. It's a psychological thing that you don't notice until someone points it out. There's a lot of guys that don't bump because they're protecting their size, and then they bump when it matters or when they do something bigger. So they'll go down to a knee, they'll crumble, they'll fall. They won't take that full like smash, like I just got thrown the fuck down until there's someone like big. Or until there's some big offense that happens. They are so good at it. We just need, here's the problem. I don't think they should take it off of Judgment Day because that's a heel. Again, we just did a heel versus heel switch for the tag titles. It was a really good match. I'm glad that they went with the dynamic that the Judgment Day were basically the faces in it, because if you look back, that's who the faces were. They just said, you know what, for today, Judgment Day is going to be faces because we need these titles to change hands. I think Judgment Day needs to hold on to them for a while. It depends on how long Seth's group stays together.
That's another good point.
I'm hearing rumors that they're already planning a Braun split. I don't think they should. I think Seth's group should be together for a while. It's rumors, Grun. I know. I had the same thing when I was looking at it. Know that that's what the direction is eventually. I'm sure it is.
Oh, they're already paving it. If you look at that Heyman looking at Braun after Braun slaps the briefcase and interrupts Heyman when he's explaining Plan B, there's a look that Heyman gives, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh boy.
And I think that works. I just don't want it to be rushed.
Yeah.
And it just has to have care. And I also really like Bronson and Breaker as a tag team right now in
Mhm.
a division that just has so little built guys that if you have a faction like Judgment Day, like Seth Rollins's whatever contingent, whatever you want to call them, B&B Security. Either way, like you have these guys, I think they need a tag title run at some point, but it shouldn't be soon because Judgment Day needs it right now. So they are draped in gold so that gold can all be taken away from them for when they crumble or when they eat themselves alive.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that. And we got some love pouring out to you guys. First and foremost, we got to hit, Papa Ken here. He's letting everybody know, thanks for growing our family. There you go. A beautiful message from a beautiful man named Ken. And we got Fightins One chiming in. He's saying he would say yes to them being one of the top tag teams, but there's not much to compete against on that one. And then Fightins One also chiming in. I don't like the whole wearing suits gimmick. Reminds me of the secret or the secret Hervis. Yes. Well, I could see where you're coming from on that one.
It reminds me a lot of J&J Security, so I
Yes.
do dislike the suits a little bit.
Yeah.
Because J&J Security were kind of
Yeah, they were different.
yeah.
I see where you guys are going, but like let's also make it very clear that this is not they're definitely this entire time they've been presenting them very
I
differently
agree.
from J&J Security. The suits, like the thing is, they're pretty much the Bronson and Braun are pretty much in all black. Like the Piper and Alba, they have the white dress shirts underneath to more simulate the idea of Secret Service, because Secret Service aren't just allowed to wear whatever dress shirt they want. I'm sure it's a
True.
very strict dress code.
Yeah.
And the sensible shoes or the wrestling boots.
I
Just
agree.
not-
I get what you're saying, but I also see what Fightins One is saying. And it's like when you go to a buffet and you can have fresh coconut or you can have imitation coconut, you're going to take the fresh coconut because it's way better.
Yeah.
So, and to me, the Hervis, that look fits them perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Bronson Reed in a suit doesn't fit me perfectly. Like that, his body is not built for a fucking suit. Braun Breaker's body is not built for a suit.
I think I would argue with Braun Breaker. I think his body is built for a suit. I think it fits him better. Bronson Reed's, he is large, and the suit coat feels like it's wrapping around him too much.
Yes.
Whereas Braun Breaker has a bit of a slimmer build. I think the suit with the natural tailor, I think it does look really good on him.
Okay.
And I think it adds more appeal of, hey, this guy is a big deal. This guy is a star. And I think that's what they're trying to do, because if you've noticed through the years of watching wrestling, when you're trying to get someone over as a big deal, especially as a heel, you put them in a suit. Because if you put them in a suit, they seem like they're higher class than other people. It's psychological perception. Just like, and I learned this from a man, I guess I'll say his name, Johnny Bravo. He's around the area. He does TNA stuff. Entering with someone, if you go through their legs, it automatically psychologically puts in people's minds that you are subservient to whoever's legs you just went through.
I see what you're saying.
So it's a psychological thing to put people in suits, especially that way. When there's someone that you're trying to protect and you put bodyguards around them, but you put them in suits, especially big guys like that, where their suits maybe don't fit, that means there's a lot of man under it. And that man is probably going to kill you.
That's true. That's true. All right. Before we jump to Grun's topic, let's hit up one of the guys who, well, he infamously in our chat made the put a pin in it famous by the actual pin mark. And it's the Lou, the most amazing wrestling minds in the game. Oh, and Grun. Happy Monday. Andy was also chiming in. He loves what you were saying, Kevin. Building the Braun main event status. Do it with care and
I
no
agree.
rush, like Kevin said. And that's perfect there. So, Grun, let's jump into what you're wanting to talk about. And always remember, Grun,
Okay, Carl, well, maybe you'd like 2 weeks detention instead.
be careful.
No, I will be careful.
You always
Better
watch
watch your microaggressions, bro.
watch those microaggressions.
I think I want to dance on that line a little bit.
That
So,
Pop.
look, I think this is going to be a great match at Evolution. I am not thrilled with how they came to it, and that is Rhea Ripley versus Io Sky.
Okay.
I'm not thrilled that it was just Io picked her opponent just like that. Like I kind of more understand how Tiffany got the pick, because like Tiffany, pick an opponent that you need to beat, that you think is you're going to beat, that means something. Io, I feel like Adam. It would have been better if Adam Pearce just said, "I've selected Rhea Ripley to be your opponent because this is a big match and we need you to have a big opponent." And you have not faced Rhea one-on-one in a long time, and now this is for a championship, and you're both at the highest level. So, what do you guys think? How would you guys have booked this match of Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley at Evolution, or would you have picked a different opponent?
Hmm.
Do you want to start this one off, voice?
I think I will. I love the EO angle. Okay, let's start that off. I'm getting to where House is, where maybe we're getting over, I believe the term is saturated with Rhea. She's becoming something that they're almost shoving down our throats in a way. I'm not saying I don't enjoy what Rhea does, because I do. She's able to, whatever they give her, she's able to make it her own and walk away with a win. But again, House brought it up, and it's much like the idea of, do we need her winning all the time? Do we need her in the main event? Do we need her at that peak? Because there is a lot of talent behind. I would have loved to seen, and I know that we've probably seen this on different promotions of WWE, whether it be NXT, whether it be whatever they have their hands in. But I would have loved to see a Kairi Sane Io Sky match. I think it would have been fun. I'm more of a fan of the smaller athletes at that caliber. I'm a sucker for a good Chris Benoit Dean Malenko match. And I think that they could bring a element of real fun to it, because look what they're doing with Kyrie already, with the anime type video packages that they're making her almost Final Destination come to life. I guess I could have went with anybody other than Rhea. Like, I'm not saying I don't want Rhea in a main event match, but it's almost like when Charlotte's gone and she comes back, she instantly gets a title match. And I'm not saying Rhea's been gone or anything, but it's like, it's the same comparison of, oh my gosh, we're not sure where we need to pivot in this division with this storyline. Throw Rhea in there. Does it work? A majority of the time, yeah. But again, are we getting oversaturated? So to simplify my answer, I would have much rather seen a different match. I understand where they're going, but for personal taste, I would have rather seen Io go against another opponent. Save this for SummerSlam. Save that main event where Rhea, something like that. Or even a fun go home show. Why not? You can work with anything. Hopefully I answered you, Grun.
Yeah. I gotta tell you, my suspicion is that Rhea's gonna beat Io. And the reason I say that, and I don't think Rhea has a long title run, and this is why she's winning, and this is why it feels like she keeps winning.
Okay.
Rhea Ripley is the female Cody Rhodes for WWE. I promise.
Yeah, I buy that.
That's what they're setting her up for. She is the biggest draw on Raw right now, other than maybe CM Punk.
True.
Okay.
but it's got to be rivaled at this point. It's
Mm-hmm.
she is so over with the crowd,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
and it's to the point where she can't be denied from a title for very long without good reason. Because she continues to win, because she is that over with the crowd, because they long for her to be there. And I agree, it can feel like oversaturation. But I would also keep in mind that if you're giving someone a lot of wins, that means whenever they lose, it's probably going to be meaningful.
Mm.
So if you're setting Rhea up to win against Io Sky, that's, again, let's assume that that's what's going on. I suspect Rhea loses it at SummerSlam. And that'll be the next person. Or she loses it a little bit later, maybe Survivor Series. And my suspicion is that it'll be someone like Roxanne Perez for when Liv comes back. So that Judgment Day can be dripped at gold. All in.
I mean,
They could go another way. They could. They could go with Asuka or Kairi Sane as well. But that's my suspicion, is that Rhea doesn't hold it for that long. It's not going to be some calendar year hold, but they're going to set up a SummerSlam main event for the women. That's going to be a big match.
And you're assuming, or you're going within your idea that Roxanne is going to be the one, just so they can get to the Liv and then Judgment Day draped in gold.
Basically.
Which
they already are dripped in gold, so don't get me wrong. They could go another way. Because all of them hold titles now.
yeah.
Roxanne Perez officially. Well, after Evolution, she will officially hold the title.
Yes.
Assuming that she wins. Which I assume they will. Because I think they want Judgment Day dripped in gold for when Liv comes back so that Liv can be the odd woman out. That's the key.
Okay.
And
We
I
got
think... Go ahead.
I was just going to say, we got C Money chiming in. Trips likes his baby faces to chase the title, not hold it for long. And I think that is something that you've drilled into our heads, Kevin.
That's not just Triple H. That's classic wrestling logic.
And that's what I was going to say. Yeah. That's the format of your basic wrestling promotion.
The last time it worked to have really, really long babyface title runs that didn't feel getting stale was like Hulk Hogan in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oof.
It's hard because like even Cody Rhodes, like they were able to manage his title run for as long as they did, but there were still people that were kind of glad to see Cody drop it, and it's hard nowadays because you got because more fans are educated now, so they're more aware of what wrestlers came before, and so they might think, oh, those were better than today. Hey, and it's like, yeah, and it's hard to even match what Eddie Guerrero did. Dom Mysterio, I think, is doing a great job of matching Eddie Guerrero, and still doing his own thing, still making it Dirty Dom Mysterio, not making it Eddie 2.0. CM Punk being CM Punk, Cody Rhodes being Cody Rhodes, John Cena being John Cena. Like we say it all, you hear it and you see it all the time. Wrestlers need to find their own persona, figure out what it is, even if it has similarities. Abyss had similarities to Kane, Undertaker, and yet was still one of the top wrestlers in TNA throughout their entire existence.
I mean,
I don't disagree.
I can't disagree with you.
Well, it's just factually inaccurate on so many different levels. I don't understand why you wrote it like that.
Joe Rogan, shut up.
Joe Rogan did.
Joe Rogan disagrees, but he's not a wrestling fan.
No, he's not a wrestling fan. He doesn't understand. I think that the death of kayfabe killed the long babyface title run, though.
True.
And I don't think kayfabe is totally dead, by the way. Like a lot of people.
No, yeah.
Like, it's dead if you want it to be dead. That's the key.
I don't want it to be dead.
And the more you look up, the less likely you're going to like a babyface title run that's long. There is a deep correlation between that, because you know how things are booked and you start getting tired quicker of the baby faces.
Yeah.
And it is just that easy.
Okay.
It is. We're getting some heat. Grun, you're naturally building heat.
Okay. All right. Look, I get it. now let me also preface this by saying I don't have the love of Eddie Guerrero that everybody else has. I started watching Eddie one of the first things I remember him doing was hitting Batista in the back with a chair. I didn't understand why he did that. Why it was his tagging partner, and I didn't understand why that was such a big deal. I'm introduced to Eddie Guerrero completely unaware of what he is and what I hear the line cheating, stealing. I hear that I get it. He's a jerk, but people like him. Like, okay, but I still didn't.
Jerk.
It was 2005. Like literally less than 12 months later, he passed away.
Yeah.
So it's like I saw him with his feud with Rey Mysterio over Dominic Mysterio. So it's like I don't have the love, the passion, the understanding of how great Eddie is, and I don't think I can just go back, watch it, and really have that understanding of how much people appreciate, how much people idolize Eddie Guerrero. But I'm not going to say that he's like, everyone says he's one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, one of the greatest luchadors of all time. I'm not going to argue with people when it's like I'm outnumbered 1,000,000 to 1. What?
Hey, Grun, you don't have to defend it because I know what you're saying. You weren't around to see what we've seen.
Yeah.
And it boils down to
There is no romantic way to fist someone.
there's just not.
There's
Grun.
just not. It's
And
just
we just got to live with that. And I see what you're saying, Grun. And what I would say to you, though, is if you're really wanting to know what we know about Eddie and what we've seen about Eddie, go back, watch the old Monday Night Nitros with Eddie there, and then watch his evolution into the WWE when he came in with, was it called the Radicals?
Radicals. Yep.
When he came in with them, you watch the reaction that those 4 men get, and you will start to understand why we hold such admiration for Eddie. I agree with you. Dom is doing it his own way, and he is starting to climb that Eddie love ladder. Even though we hear him booed, that's the fans reacting. That's what he's trying to get, and the fans are giving it to him. So yes, if you break it down psychologically, he is one of the favorites. Much like Eddie. Eddie was a lie. He lied, he cheated, he stole. That's what he did, and that's what you knew. So I think Dom's well on his way to it. I do understand where Rib Shot's coming from because I'm a huge Eddie fan.
And I think Eddie had a large influence on so many people that came through. And because of that, you see that work with Dom. You see the influence of both Eddie and Ray in his work. Dom is, I don't know if he'll surpass them, but he will probably rival them in the end if he stays with this.
Mm-hmm.
And he stays going because the meteoric rise of Dominic Mysterio has been wild to watch. He is...
Man, it's crazy.
It's... Okay, I'm going to make a comparison that's kind of wild, but I'll explain myself.
Okay.
Dom Mysterio right now is in the Miz's position.
I see it.
Miz, at one point, after he got comfortable and understood how to work and the psychology of everything, he was trusted with all of the matches. Right now, Dom is trusted with all of the matches so that he can keep getting reps and just get better. And that's what's happening in front of our eyes. We are seeing Dominic Mysterio grow in front of us.
I love it. I love it. All right. So we're going to put a pin in the Dom talk and the Eddie discussion, the comparison. I love how it got the chat going, though. So good job, Grun. You did something well today. So
thank you.
Good. That's good. Oh, and like he's our fan. He's putting a pin in it. So that leads us into, I believe, what Kevin Kalloway might want to talk about. So go ahead, take it away, Kevin.
There's a man who just hit his growth spurt who's coming back. There is a man who has finally kicked his Colombian coffee addiction due to those bad drug dealers. Finally, his growth is no longer stunted. He's grown up in front of our eyes more literally than Dom, than figuratively. Tonight, we have the return of El Grande Americano.
I love it.
Oh,
I love it.
God.
I don't know how specific I can make this conversation, but I really just want to talk about how fucking dope this angle is.
How it is.
It is. There are people online like, oh, look what they're doing to Ludwig Kaiser. Like, you know what? They're putting him on TV, and everyone's initial reaction was it was the most hilarious thing they've ever seen.
It was great.
Nuts. He changed nothing about what he does and just walked through with a luchador mask on.
And that's the genius of it. That's the extra sprinkles on that Sunday.
Oh my God. It's so good. Man, I think this was such a smart pivot because it's really, this is an angle like an R-Truth angle where if Truth got injured, you just have to pivot Truth into doing something that didn't involve something physical and you were good. We're seeing that now, but we're pivoting who's under the mask because nobody has revealed who's under the mask yet, which is why you hold on to it for so long. And the angle itself is so mired and like dripped in just like non-serious but still serious that you can get away with it. It's with Truth not doing comedy angles anymore.
You need something.
You need something. And if you're going to give these guys, like Chad Gable is one of the best workers they have, and I will put that on on God, on Zeus, on whoever.
Yep.
He is
I agree.
amazing. But he's not just amazing in the ring. He has an amazing comedic presence and timing. He is like a 5-tool fucking player. It's wild to see. And I didn't get to see all it. Like I saw it a little bit with the Alpha Academy and stuff, and like he was good at that.
Yeah.
But I think it's been so much better with this, and it's treated like a serious thing while being a very not serious thing.
Yeah. And I love it. I love what you just said there. A not serious thing being treated as a serious thing. And I think that works perfectly because that plays into Ludwig's personality, what he's trying to bring across. And then you add that sprinkle of comedic timing with him to just strut off like amazing work. I think go ahead, Kevin.
Oh, go ahead. No, finish your thought because
I was just going to say, I think we're at a point that Chad Gable is now looked at as the Swiss Army knife of the WWE. You can position him into something and he's going to find a way to make it his own or help somebody else make it their own. And I think that is missed and needed in the WWE, which gives me even more excitement that they're even talking about Danhausen coming, because I think that's another element. Imagine an Americano Danhausen.
Oh my God.
Just Danhausen in the El Grande mask.
Hey, Americano, let's make some money,
my
okay?
God.
You can take over America. I took over the world. We get people to like each other. At the same time, we'll get them to do things we like, and we're going to be super evil and super nice.
It would be so good. And what they're doing now is perfect. You don't even have to change anything up.
No.
I'm just saying that, like Kevin pointed out, with the absence of R-Truth in his comedy, there's got to be someone to fill that role. Right now we have Chad Gable, but I think all three of us are sitting around and we're like, there's an entire world you can play around in this around Chad Gable, because imagine when he comes back and he's wearing the El Grande Americano and he's looking at someone else wearing it. To me, that's gold. You are just writing comedic gold. We might as well call you Saturday Night Live, because you're hooking me. You're bringing me into it. I love it. I love this topic.
It's such. It must have came out of nowhere too. Like they were just sitting in a meeting and like, where are we going to go with this feud? And somebody, I don't know who had this idea, but God, give them a job for life.
Yeah.
Just, they came up with this wacky idea and it's like, fuck it, let's try it. Let's see what happens. And man, it has worked. And I would love to see Danhausen in this angle. I think that would be fun.
Oh,
Because I want to see him. I don't just want to see him in the angle. I want him under the mask at some point.
oh my God.
But his face is still painted.
Yes.
It's clearly Danhausen. He still has the cape on, all the shit. I want all the dumb shit.
Oh my.
Because, again, exactly like I said, like this is people. I understand why comedy is looked down on, but also a necessary thing in wrestling. If you put too much comedy within the context of the match and you have everyone believe, like everyone has to buy into the bullshit, you start potentially diminishing other people as people who are smart. So I think this is, and this is not me speaking ill of someone who has passed away, because I loved his work and creativity, but I think that was one of the major problems with The Fiend is how do you get him over while all of this stuff is clearly supernatural and no one's asking questions?
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
it runs into a problem where, okay, where's the believability in it? And we have to come up with it ourselves. We aren't told in the confines of the story. We have to come up with it ourselves and argue it. And in a sense that works, but also it starts degrading it and destroying it. So if you have, and I think this happens with Toni Storm a little bit too. Again, great worker who is amazing, but everyone buys into the fact that she is an actress from the 1920s and not a crazy lady who says she's an actress from the 1920s.
Yeah.
Because
True,
if they
very
treated
true.
her the latter way, I think it would work better.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, it worked in Seinfeld
'Cause you
when
could
Kramer
do
went to California.
All of the same shit. All
Yep.
of it.
I agree with you.
All of the same shit. And she paid off the camera guy to make it black and white. You can explain it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But none of the workers around her are just like, yes, this is Toni Storm, the best women's wrestler ever. They're like, this is a crazy woman who thinks she's an actress from the 1920s.
Yeah.
How has she stolen this title? And you can make everyone be an asshole to her so that she's still the face. Like, there is a way to do it without just being like, yep, this is what we have to accept. You can make it all make sense. And I think that's what I love about this Chad Gable thing.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody is buying into the bullshit. Michael Cole on commentary is actively going, Chad Gable hits him with a German suplex, and then the guy next to it, whoever is next to him at the time, because it's either Pat or it's Wade
or
or it's
Corey.
Corey, anybody. They're like, what do you mean? We don't know if that's Chad Gable. We can't possibly know that. Michael's like, are you goddamn blind? Like, that works so well because
It does.
you're not treating everyone else around them like they're idiots who are just believing the story. They're seeing through the obvious illusion. Like, it's like a magician holding a hand here with a ball and saying, there's no ball, look over here. And it's just right next to it.
I love it. I
It's
love it.
pretty
Yeah, it reminds me of old Jerry and Jim Ross talking, because Jim would call it out.
Yep.
And Jerry would deliver every single time. No.
Yep.
And it was perfect. And Michael Cole learned that.
Yep.
He learned that from Ross, and he does it masterfully.
Mhm.
And what I really like about what Cole's doing to elevate this character is the fact that he is standing on 10 toes, and he knows for a fact that is Chad Gable.
Yep.
And then when you introduce these possibilities of it somebody else, that just allows the comedic guy to play in another world and develop his commentary skills.
And even the GM within it isn't buying it. Adam Pearce is looking him in the face and going, we got to go through this goddamn song and dance again. All right, Chad.
I love what Ribshot said here. Kurt Angle and Regal were the perfect mix of comedy and credibility. Gable has that.
Was amazing at it. Oft overlooked. Oh my God. He could make a comedy angle out of nothing.
Very true. I think Regal is a master at it. Kurt Angle, he was also a master at it. He actually made Brock seem humorous at times. And that's a hard thing to do when Brock is so believable in his monster persona.
Yeah.
That to take him out of that, even with Angle, when Austin was able to take Angle out of this Olympic monster who was just going in there and tapping dudes out, he was able to give him a tiny hat. And yeah, I mean, tell me that's not one of the most memorable Kurt Angle moments of his career.
Yeah.
Was that tiny fucking cowboy hat.
God, that
Give me
tiny
that
hat.
corn and I don't care.
Yeah.
Give me that corn and I
Yeah.
want a freaking gold medal.
Dude, I still remember his rendition of HBK's theme song live in a ring. Oh.
His milk truck.
Oh yeah. Oh my God. Just all of it was ridiculous and amazing. It was like Vince Russo's ideas, but done well.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, that is such the biggest compliment and the biggest insult you could ever put in one sentence.
Yep.
Grun, let's get your thoughts real quick before we head out onto the sunset. We got 11 minutes before we go live with Raw. What's your thoughts on this Chad Gable saga?
This is going to be the comic relief for Raw and hopefully for SmackDown too, because I don't care about the brand split. Let's break it up.
I agree.
Yeah, because like you need good comedy segments on WWE because especially right now, because right now you got a lot of serious stuff happening. The women's division, unfortunately, right now between Raw and SmackDown, not very good, and it's solely because they didn't do enough booking for Evolution in the weeks prior, so that has hurt the women's division. And hopefully, once we get past that, it'll be better for. I think SummerSlam is up next. If not, then it's Clash in Paris.
I think it's SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, okay.
Look it up.
All right. Well, but the Chad Gable Bull in El Grande Americano story it's one of the best things they've presented to us. It's like I was very much like I don't like I found it a little funny, but I'm like, dude, like why are you guys doing this to us? Because I gotta be I'm with Michael Cole. I'm a coal miner now. Okay. That's literally I was thinking that like it's going to be amazing when Michael Cole mentions coal miners in his WWE Hall of Fame speech.
I've spread so many fucking rumors. My favorite part about rumors, nobody verifies shit.
Oh, Grun.
It's not a rumor.
It's not. And just to get you guys caught up, August 2nd and 3rd is SummerSlam. Clash in Paris is the 31st in August. And then we jump to Crown Jewel in October.
Okay.
Okay, so there's no September PLE.
No September.
Thank
Two for
God.
Yes.
Give us a month off.
Yes,
two for August.
Oh,
Because it's okay. If I'm doing, we did 2 in June, Money in the Bank, and King and Queen of the Ring, right?
yep.
We had. I'm not going to count Saturday night main events in any of this. By the
No.
way.
No, that's
those
fair.
are network specials.
Yeah.
Whatever. You can plan matches for that. Cool. They're TV matches though.
And I
So
believe
I'm going
there's
to count
only
it.
one
I'm going to
more.
count it like a souped up Raw.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
That's perfect.
So we had 2 in June. We have 1 in July. We have 2 in August. That's 5 in 3 months. That's a lot. You talk about oversaturation earlier.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about the oversaturation of the people in these because I think they can build up and knock them down when they need to so that they can build the next people, which they've been pretty good at, I would say.
Mhm.
Nothing's ever perfect, and there will always be criticisms and critiques, and they will be valid. But the problem that they have, in my opinion, is that they're oversaturating the market of shows, specifically PLEs. It's
I
too
can't
much.
argue. I cannot argue that. You are correct. I mean, look, if we're going with what we have left for this coming up months, we have the supersized Monday Night Raw, like you said, the Saturday night, and then we go into SummerSlam 2 nights. Then we go right at the very end of August. We're going into the Clash in Paris. Then we get our break. So right there, I think that's when we're going to hit money. There's going to be a lot of good story development pushing in that area. And then October 11th, we're going to Crown Jewel. And then we almost have a whole nother month and 20 something days before we get to Survivor Series.
Is that at the end of November?
November, yeah. So we're going October 11th for Crown Jewel.
Sure.
And then November 29th for Survivor Series.
I love that.
So yeah, we're getting ready to not only get hit with a wave of PLEs, but then we see the calming right after that set of waves. So Kevin, I love where you're at with that. That you are hitting on so many levels, the oversaturation of PLEs, and plus the 2-night thing. You've dumped it into the major PLEs, which is now hurting what you're setting up for WrestleMania for its 2 nights.
I don't.
What's special about Mania now?
I guess that's true, but I don't mind it for SummerSlam. I think the problem lies is that if you're going to do SummerSlam as 2 nights, the problem is you just ran a PLE 3 weeks prior for your women, and then you're going to run another PLE 3 weeks after for Paris. And I think both are going to be good, but SummerSlam needs a bigger build if you're going to do 2 nights is the problem. And if they didn't have Evolution on the cards, I like it as a concept. I would have preferred it after SummerSlam. Maybe that would have been a September one, because then it wouldn't have felt as oversaturated. We could have had a long build, a month-long build to get to SummerSlam for 2 nights, because that's, I think, what SummerSlam is going to end up missing. WrestleMania had weeks to build up at least the matches to get there. You really realistically build it from Royal Rumble, and I don't want to keep too long because I know Raw is starting, but it doesn't feel like SummerSlam needs a 2-nighter because they aren't building it. And I think they'll remedy it next year after realizing what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to feel awkward this year.
I like what you're saying. We got the Lou. I was hoping for a PLE every week.
Well, you can watch NXT. I'm sure they'll have it in those days.
Yeah. And
Mac and Foster did that thing, with the who can say pussy the most.
Or you know what?
We're not doing this.
No.
Call up AEW. I'm sure they got a review going on every weekend.
He wants to see wrestling, Grun.
Oh, you mean he doesn't want to see bullshit from people that
So we're getting ready to put a pin in Grun because I know exactly where he's going, and I'm going to be his best friend and stop him before we get to that point. So Grun, why don't you let them know where they can find your beautiful blue eyes of villainous?
You can catch me at twitch.tv/Grunmeister, YouTube at Grunmeister, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I do the Grun's Room SmackDown Preview Review Show. Talk everything SmackDown, WWE, and sometimes I throw in a rant.
Oh, we love those rants, Grun. You are becoming one of my favorite podcasters on the planet. So keep it up, Grun. Kevin Kalloway, let him know where the newly fiancéed up person can be found.
I will be, let's see here. I'll be out supporting Annie as she is at City Championship Wrestling on Friday. So if you're there, come say hi. You can follow me. Huh? You have something to promote there, Annie?
Ooh.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Don't, the main event of that show, the first ever time the women have main evented at City Championship Wrestling. It'll be Ray Larson versus former Blair Davenport, now known as B. Priestley.
Oh,
cool.
Awesome.
Nice.
Great opportunity for.
You can otherwise find me at Kalloway Kevin on Instagram or Kevin Kalloway on Facebook. I swear to God, one of these days when I don't have kidney stones, I am going to start streaming again. I still have it on my schedule, and everything just keeps destroying my life. I'm going to try and stream. I think I'm going to try and stream tomorrow after I drop off my computer, or maybe I'll do it with my morning coffee. Maybe Annie and I can play some Alan Wake.
Ooh.
She's already shaking her head yes.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Sounds like a plan over there. All right, fans. So you heard it here. This is where to find my friends. You know where to find them. Go and check this out. And if you didn't catch it, rewind it and you can catch that and figure it out. But yes, go out there and support Ray. She's got an awesome opportunity coming up. And these are the times that make moments, that make greatness. And Ray's well on her way of that. But if you want to catch us, this is every Monday at 7 p.m. That's what the Bearded Brigade does here. We talk about Monday Night Raw. We talk 3 subjects just like we did. We bring you into the conversation just like you did. So everybody's following suit. Follow the leader. Yes, that is a Korn reference. Love them. So come join us every 7 p.m. every Monday to get all of your Monday Night Raw preview review information. Outside of that, if you like what I do a little thing with House. He is the guy who built this house, and that's House, not the W. The W is his last name. So come join us because we watch ECW. It's an ECW watch along, and it's fantastic. We've been having some great moments, some great times, and you need to be in the Discord tonight because we are going to release how you can be with me and House for November to Remember 1999 for one match. We are going to allow you, the household, to come on with us and just say whatever the hell you want. We're not even going to censor you. You can come on and rant about whatever's going on as long as it's ECW. So come join us. That's 5 p.m. every Thursday. Outside of that, the Sunday house party, it's where the people who bring you these shows, we get together and we talk wrestling. It's a good time. Last week was fun. Me, House, and Grun had some great discussions, and you guys had some great discussions in the chat. So come back on Sundays. That's around noon. You need to be liking, subscribing, getting all the notifications because Sunday show, it's anywhere from noon to 1. You just got to know where to keep the notifications going because we'll go live and you can be a part of our show. We're here. We're IYH. That's in your house. That's HOWSE. And that W does stand for work, like House always says. We absolutely adore you guys, and thank you so much for giving us your time every time we go live with IYH. And hopefully, we will catch you on the next one if you're ready to join us next Monday. This fucking thing. Hold on. I just fucked that up, everybody.